Since we are discussing about the HANA administration part. As part of the HANA administration, so we have done the HANA installation on the Linux operating system. So using the HDB LCM tools, HANA database lifecycle management tools, which is there in the slash media. So we have done the HANA installation. Then we have a few members already installed the HANA databases here. After that, how to add the HANA systems into the HANA Studio. So this studio also we discussed, right? So we have added the HANA systems. Okay. So let me add again for everybody reference purpose. Here I am adding the yeah. So when you open the HANA Studio, you need to open the administration console. Then you will get the prompt like this here. You will get the prompt like this here. Sometimes you maybe there is a multiple small sessions, subsessions, minimize, maximize. So many things are there here, right? Sometimes your screen maybe you are unable to see your systems list here. Add HANA systems list. Something you are unable to see here. So what you need to do, you need to reset your HANA Studio settings here, right? So in this case, what you have to do, you need to go to the Windows, right? In the HANA Studio, we have the window and perspective. Then you can use the reset. You can use the reset perspective. Then what will happen? You will get the HANA Studio like this here, right? Your settings will be backed again. Just close it. Then again open the HANA Studio here. Then you will get the original HANA screen settings. You will get it out from here, right? So those things you need to do it here, right? So that is the one thing here. So first of all, you should check, as we discussed in the last class, how to check whether HANA database is up and running or not. When you click on the HDB space info, you will see your HANA database status. HANA database means family members, our family members, 7 family members here. So index server, right? Name server, preprocessor, right? Compile server. So web dispatcher, access engine. So these are the HANA process, 7 HANA process in system. HANA process for our family members, kind of family members. So these family members will stay inside of the HANA database, here, right? Inside of the HANA database. Since we have installed the HANA 2.0, so by default, you will get the 2 databases. One is the system DB, the second one is the tenant DB. System DB and tenant DB. One is the system DB, the second one is the tenant DB. You will get the 2 databases here, system DB and tenant DB here. System DB and tenant DB here, right? So 2 databases you will get and 7 core process you will get here. This one you guys knows, everybody knows here, right? So now you see HANA database is not started. To start the HANA database, you need to use the HDB space start with your SID ADM user. With SID ADM user, you need to start the HANA HDB space start so that your HANA database will be started. HANA will be started here. HDB space start. Your HANA is getting started here. HANA is getting started here, right? So that is what we are doing here, right? HDB space start. So HANA is starting here. So here, when the HANA started means all family members are up and running. All family members when you use this command here. So then we can add here. Go to the add the system here. Then here you will get the host name. Our host name is SAP Linux 1. Our instance number is 07, right? Multi-container system DB. If you want to write the description, you can write it. Otherwise, you can ignore it. HD7, right? Just you can ignore it here. Here we have to use the system user. This user will be created during the installation. Then we can use the password. Then the system DB is added here. At the same time, we can also add the tenant DB also. There is a one system DB, one tenant will be created during the installation time. Installation time here. So installation time here. So that's the reason we can use it here. So HD7 is our, so HD7 is our, so HD7 is our, so SID, database SID here. Then you can use the same user, you can provide the same password here, right? Same user, same password. Then I have added the HANA system DB and I have added the tenant DB both into the HANA studio here. To perform the administration related activities, I have added the system DB and tenant DB also I have added here. So this is the overview page. This is the HANA Studio administration tabs. Here you can see here in the HANA Studio, you see here we have the overview tab. Overview. Overview means just it will give the overview of the your database, which means what is your database version, all the services, means all the family members are started or not, what type of system is this, and when was the last restart happened, what is the version of the database here, then so your platform, what is the operating system here, what is the Linux kernel version, what is the hardware manufacturer, what is the memory usage and CPU usage and disk usage, file systems. All the information it will show in the here, right? Just to give the overview page here. So same concept here in the tenant DB also. Same, when whatever it may be, whatever DB, you will get the similar tabs here. In the tenant DB also, it's the same. Tenant DB also, it's the same here. Memory, resident, disk space, version is the same here. So here, this is the one here, right? HANA DB means collection of all this process here. Collection of all this process here. In one operating system, when you install the HANA database, so this is operating system. If you install the HANA database, it will create the system DB. Then it will create the one tenant here. Then if you install one more tenant, we can add it. But by default, you will get the one system DB and one tenant DB you will get here. One tenant DB, one system DB you will get here. Means two databases you will get as part of the HANA 2.0 installation, right? So here the two databases perspective, here you can see here two databases here, right? We added the system DB, tenant DB also here. So HANA Studio is the one of the monitoring tool. HANA Studio is the one of the monitoring tool here. So which can help us to do the administration part of the HANA databases. HANA databases here. So HD7 is our SID here. Like that, you can add the n number of databases you can add here. N number of databases you can add here in the here. Okay, got it? So that is the thing of the systems adding here. The next one is the landscape tab. So in the landscape tab, it will give the information of the your process here. So this is the system DB here. So here system DB you can see here compile server, daemon, main server, preprocessor. This is a service, right? This is a web dispatcher here. So total 5 services are there here. 5 services are there here. So 5 services means here you have the name server, so preprocessor, right? Compile server, so web dispatcher, daemon, so NPCWD. Okay. So here IX, XI, okay, XI or IX. How can you remember? You can remember it here, right? So here, so in the tenant DB you have the access engine and index server. This both are in the tenant databases. This both are in the tenant databases here. This both are in the tenant databases here, right? System DB. It is the NPC WD, WD here. So here, so which means here the list of process you have 7 in this 5 plus 2. So as we discussed in the SAP also, we have the 7 process here. 5 are in the where application server, 2 are in the ASS instance, right? 2 are in the ASS instance here. Same way here. So 2 are in the here in the system DB. Sorry, 2 are in the tenant databases. 5 are in the system databases here. So if you install one more tenant after some time, after some days, if you want to, there is a requirement to add the one more tenant databases, you can add it, but you will get the one access engine, one more index server here. On top of, if you want to add one more floor, then you will get the one access engine, one index server you will get here, right? So this is the thing here. How this process and where will we stay? So this is the home. Inside of the home, we have the, so by default, you will get the 2 floors, right? 2 floors here. In 150 square heads in the operating systems, when you install the HANA 2.0, one brand new building will be installed, apartment. One is the ground floor and +1. So in the +1, we have the 7 family members. In the 7 family members, 5 family members in the system DB, 2 family members in the tenant databases. Same as like here, you can see here in the landscape tab here. In the landscape tab, it will give the information about your system landscape here, information about your system landscape. What is the host name and what is the port number for each process? What is the process name here? Compile server, daemon, name server, preprocessor, web dispatcher, right? What is the start time of your process? What is the process ID? So each process, what is the CPU utilization is using? What is the memory utilization it is using? This in the levels in the MBs wise, how much it is using. All the information will be displayed in the landscape tab. In the landscape tab, all the information will be displayed here in the landscape tab here. All right. So here this is the system DB, right? So here this is the system DB here. When it is go to the tenant DB here, in the same landscape tab here you will get the additionally index server and access engine process. Apart from that, system DB process also will show here, but additionally 7 process it will show here, 7 process. So it is a system DB, is a tenant DB, right? Only 2 process should show, right? Why? Again, system DB related also showing means it's like that only. By design is like that only. That's the reason. So you are seeing the 7 process, additionally 2 index server, access engine. But when you go to the system DB, here you don't have the index server and access engine. Why? Because it's not available in the system DB. So if you want to test, sir, are you sure? You are telling means, you are telling, so system DB also, this additionally 5 process and tenant DB also, you have the 7 process again, which means 2 name servers, 2 daemon, 2 compile servers here, entire database. No, it's only 1. But in the display, it is showing like this only. Suppose if we want to test, right? You can test it here. Suppose we'll see the compile server. Compile server port is 30710. This is the process ID, right? In the operating system, one process, only one process ID will be allocated. See, right? So here 5431. When you go to the system DB, here you can see the 07105431, right? Compile server. It's the same only, but in the tenant, in the display list, it is showing system DB process also, along with your tenant related process also. Sir, you mentioned that is fine. We can understand what is meant by landscape tab. In the landscape tab, we can see the list of process status or not. Why? Because here we can see the all are active. So if it is not active means, will the color change? Yes. Right? If it is the high CPU utilization, will this increase? Yes. If it is the high memory, will it increase? Yes. So everything will be increased here. Sir, can you explain what does it mean by each and every process will do here? In the HANA level, in the SAP level, we discussed about the each process. SAP level we discussed about. So each process there has a own responsibility, dialog, update, MQ. So like this. But what about the here HANA level? HANA level, what about the here? In the HANA level, we'll discuss about the each and every process here, right? So system, first of all, index server is the main process here. Index server is the main process. Enter this out of 7. So index server is the main process here that we will call it as the father of the database. All the data will resides all the data will resides and stores in index server. All the data will store in index server only. All the data calculations, all the data resides, all the engines, query engines, calculator engine, everything will be available in the index server, which means the bottom line data in the HANA database, where the data means where the tables data storing means index server. Index server. Index server is the main process to store the data here. So, sir, only one index server is storing the data. Then what is the use of the remaining 6 process here? Remaining 6 process will help to the father. So, in our family members, that's why we call it as the family, right? 7 family members. In the family members means each family there is a one father, mother, sons, sales. We have the so people are there, right? Suppose like it's one of the beautiful family. In the beautiful family, we have the 7 members. In the 7 members, index server is the father, right? Index server is the father of the database. So what is the father role in our home? So it's not limited, but I can say in one word, in the father is a main person in home. He is the main person. All the loads, all the calculations, all the burdens, everything he will take care of. That's why we will call it as the father of the house, right? So is same as like in the index server also, all the loads, all the data, all the calculations, all the data stores, every data. So all the applications will connect to the index server to store the data in index server. So that's the reason it is the main process here, right? So in same way, so in the home also, father is the main person here, right? That's why we will call it as the index server. That's why I call it as the index server is the father here, right? So, but index server is only available in the tenant database only, right? So then what is the use of the system DB, sir? But remaining process are there, right? Remaining process in the system DB. These are which will help to the tenant DB, means index server. This will help to the tenant DB index server here, right? So then what is the use of the name server here? Name server is like is the father means he is the one of the calculator. Maybe calculator means I can say like every home there is a one person, right? Maybe uh, uh, maybe we will call it as the every home there is a one small kid, right? So then name server is the one of the small kid. It will holds the small kid or some person. It will holds the so topology related information, which means what is the SID, what is the instance number, what is the host name. So this related information it will hold by name server, means it will hold the only small work. Name server work is very small. It will hold the topology related information. Topology means is one of the new technical word topology in the HANA database language. Topology means what is your SID, what is your instance number, what is your host name. This related information it will hold it here. It will hold the so name server here. Then it will help to index server to to know the database SID, instance number, and everything here. So this is available in the system DB here. Then preprocessor processing the unstructured data, unstructured so data, processing the unstructured data here, suppose in the database level, suppose this is the our SAP architecture, right? So presentation layer, application layer, this is the database layer, this is the HANA database. So if any data which is coming from as a text format, there is no structured one. Structure means normally the developers will write the code, right? Structure means SQL statement wise, or some open bracket, some close bracket, then some if condition, do while. They will use the some structured format to store the data here, to store the data here. Processing the unstructured data, processing the unstructured data here. So here, when it comes to the here, presentation layer, application layer, database layer here. So if any data which is coming from here to here, then here to here, then if the data is not in the structured format, then the preprocessor will make it into the structured format, will help index server to store the data here, Suppose if any data which is coming in the informal format, suppose when you are coming to the home, you are not in the formal, you are not in the structured format. So what it will do, one of the preprocessor will take separately, then will make it as a structured format, then it will give to the index server to store the data here. So that is what the preprocessor will do here. Then compile server, it is the compilation of the programs and stored procedures here. In the database level, we have so in the database level we have the some programs. In the database level we have the, so database means in the HANA database is written into the C++ language, right? So which means there is some programs, collection of programs called the one database here. So then if anything, if you want to use backend, it will write the backend, it will compile the some programs. One tab means there is a number of programs are available here. So one index server is running means backend, there is a collection of programs and everything here, right? So here the compile server will compile the programs for speed of purpose. Now normally in the SAP level, we will use the SGen load generator, right? For speed of the systems and to compilation of all the programs and everything. Here also in the database level, the compile server will help compilation of the programs and stored procedures to speed up purpose. So this is available in the system DB only, but it will help to the tenant databases, here, right? So then what is the web dispatcher? Web means browser. Dispatcher means dispatching the request, right? Web dispatcher here. So web dispatcher means it will take the web-based request. Normally we as a administrator, we are using the HANA database to use the HANA Studio we are using. But sometimes the programmers, the developers, the functional team, they will use the browser URLs to connect to the HANA databases here. In that case, the web dispatcher will take the browser-based request, then it will assign to the index server. Index server will process the web-based. Index server will process the web-based request here. Web dispatcher will take the web-based request and will take the web-based request and hand over to access engine, right? Then this is the work, both will handle the work here. Access engine will be available in the tenant databases here, right? Access engine, index server is available here. So internally it will communicate each other, right? So daemon, it's a very important process here, daemon process here. So daemon is the, normally we will say index server is the father of the database. Then daemon is the mother of the database here. In the mother, in the family, we are the father and mother, how we have in the family members. Same way, daemon is the mother here, I can say. So here, why I call it as the mother means, in the out of this 6 process here, any process is in the 6 status. 6 status. Normally in the database language here, faulty status or error status. Immediately daemon will go, will bring up to the starting statement, starting sequence. Means it will be startup. It will be start that process here. Suppose web dispatcher is down or compile server is down. Immediately daemon will go, will give some boost to the this web dispatcher. Then it will bring up to the running status here. Normally in our home, if any one of the family member is down due to some fever or seasonal flus or something, what mother will do? Mother will give some boost of some medicines to their kids, and then immediately after some time the kid will become active. So this responsibility will be taken care by the mother, right? So more, it's not limited, right? So that's why I call it as the daemon is the mother here. So same as like here, if any process is going to die status or stopped status or error status, then immediately daemon will go, will bring those process to the active status here. Suppose example, you see here, now I am going to stop the one process here. Suppose like example, I am going to stop this process, web dispatcher process here. So now it's see web dispatcher is red, right? You wait for 2 or 1 or 2 minutes here. Immediately the daemon will recognize, will immediately will go, will take this into the active status here, right? See here, immediately the daemon, immediately without informing to us, immediately it will go and it's taken into the started status here, right? We stopped this one, we stopped this process here, right? We stopped this process here now. So suppose like stopped means it's in the error status, the database language faulty status. Now immediately this daemon will not wait. Immediately the mummy will go, will take care of the kids, will give the boost, it will take care of the kids here. All right. So this type of work will be do by daemon process here, right? So each process has their own responsibilities here to carry out here, right? Same as like in the index server also, in the landscape tab also, here we have the each process has own responsibility to handle it here. Okay, so that is the concept of the landscape tab here, and what use case of the each and every process here, right? If this process 7 process are active means database is up and running, no issues with the database, right? That is the main thing. If database is down, what will happen? SAP also will show the some performance issues here. That is the very important here. Okay, so that is the main thing here. Okay, so that is the landscape tab here. Then so next one is the alerts tab, alerting tab. Alerts means normally if any issues in the database level, it will throw as a alert here. You can see alerts here. Normally we stopped and we restarted the web dispatcher. It's created the one alert, right? Which means, so if any issues in the database, sometimes database will not talk to us, right? Always. If this is a human, it will tell to us, right? So I am hungry or something like so something we can speak to our parents or something like here. But database will always not talk to us. It will throw some alerts here. Those are called the alerts here, runtime alerts here. So if any issues in the database level, either memory issues, CPU issues, some process is restarted, something, then immediately it will throw the alert here. You can see it will throwing the alerts here. In this way, we can find out, oh, we have some critical issues. Database is suffering with some critical issues. Then we need to fix that issue here, right? That is the one here. We need to check that one, right? So that is the alerts here. Okay, so that is the alerts tab. Same in the system DB also we have the alerts tab. Both are same. So alerts tab, either system DB, both are same only here. Okay, so alerts tab here. So either tenant or here. Tenant is the very important here. Why? Because in the tenant, we have the all the tenant is the main process in the database here, right? Why? Because SAP or any third-party applications will connect to the tenant DB only. Why? Because where the data resides, index server, where the index server is available, that is the tenant DB here. This is the system DB here. The system DB, we have only 5 process here. So what is the difference between system DB, tenant DB now? So in the, we have in the tenant DB, we have the index server. Index server is the main process here. It will store the all the data. Index server is the main process here. It will store the all the data and everything here. So remaining system DB will help to the tenant to process the request, which means data will not be stored in the system DB. Data will be stored only tenant database. Why? Because tenant database having the index server, index server. So index server is the main process to handle the data here. So there is no use of the system DB, but what is the advantage of the system DB means to monitor the tenants, to help to the tenant database process. So all the information purpose only we have the tenant DB. So that is the reason either SAP applications or any third party applications will directly connect to the tenant database only, not the system database. Why? Because there is no data. Why it won't connect it as well? Directly it will connect to the tenant DB only. Tenant DB only. That is the difference between the system DB and tenant DB. So that is the major difference here. Right? So here alerts tab, all the alerts related information, database level, any issues, any critical issues, it will throw the alerts. Those alerts related information it will show here. Okay, that is the main thing here we can say. Okay, got it? Next one is the performance tab here. So shall I explain or will you guys practice all those things?
No, sir, explain.
Okay. So the next one is the performance tab. Performance tab means in the database level, if any issues, database level, any issues. So it will database level, any issues, it will track the any issues we can come to the here. We need to check the things here. So if you are logging to the database level, it will initiate the one session. One session will be initiated for your user. You are connecting with the system user. So one session will be initiated here. If you are connecting with the Ravi user, then one more user, it will be connected with the Ravi user. So you logged in with the administrator user, right? Then you are using the database user, system user. What is the IP? Then what you are doing currently, all the information will be tracked here. All the information will be tracked under the, so in the sessions means when you are logging to the database, it will initiate the one session, the sessions related ID. So in that session, one session will initiate the, so you are connected to the database means one session is initiated, right? So that session we can monitor it. So once you log into the system, you are not only doing the one work, right? Multiple things you will do. For the multiple things, multiple threads will be allocated. One session, multiple threads will be allocated here. So the particular user is connected to the database fine, but after that, what he is doing? What he is doing? How many threads he is opened? What exactly is doing? So what exactly is doing? What is the duration of the time? So what is the duration he is doing here? So what exactly is accessing? What exactly is doing? All the information it will be tracked here. All the information it will be tracked under the here in the here. Okay, that is the main thing here. That is the main thing here. We can see here. Okay, that is the main thing here, right? So that is the in the threads section we can find out once the person is logged into the here what exactly he is doing, right? So why? Because in the database n number of people will log in, right? N number of people will log in, will do the n number of people will log in, so we'll do the work here. Just give me a minute. Yeah, sorry guys. So here you can see the sessions, right? So whenever you connect it, so one session will be allocated to the your user. Suppose I am using the administrator user, database user is a system password. So here my all information will be showed. Means what is the current I am using here. So how much time I am using here, how many queries I executed here, how many records I pulled from the database, number of queries which I used it here, all the information will be tracked here. So in this way we can find out, oh, which user is consuming the more memory, more number of records in the database level. So what is pulling, how much time is logged into the system. All the information will show in the here. All the information it will show in the database level. This is the okay. This is the sessions here. So once you log into the database, multiple threads will be allocated. Each thread there is a each action here. So sometimes you may open the alerts tab, sometimes you open the some other tab, sometimes you open the different tab. But session is only one. But multiple actions you are doing. Multiple actions means multiple threads. Each action, multiple threads will be allocated. Multiple threads will be allocated. Right? So that is the threads here. So sometimes if any performance, that's why we have the performance issues. Sometimes if any slowness issues, database slowness issues, right? Database performance is very bad. So that things, that time, so we may have to come to this page and see database is slowness means what is the user, how much time he logged into the system, what exactly is doing in the system. All the information we can track from here. All the information we can track it from here, right? All the information we can track it from here. That is called the so sessions here. Blocked transactions means if any transaction is blocked, that information will be shown here, right? Nothing is it, nothing will not block it here. So, right, SQL plan cache, all the SQL statements will be stored here. So the frequently accessed SQL statements will be stored here. Why? Because in the database level, if you want to need something, that will be executed as a SQL statement, right? So that related SQL statement information we can see it here. That related SQL statement information we can see it from here. SQL information we can see it from here, right? SQL plan cache, SQL plan cache we can see it here. SQL plan cache we can see it from here, right? So here nothing we can see it here. Just what are the statements are executed, what are the SQL statements, how much time, how many members, all the information we can see it from here. That's it. So those information just only seeing purpose. So we can, there is no nothing work here to see the SQL plan cache here, right? So statement trace. Sometimes, so now database level, as I mentioned, if you need something, backend, it will execute as a one SQL statement. It will execute as a one SQL statement. So database will convert it, that statement. Database automatically it will convert it. You no need to do. You no need to do here. Why? Because in the index server, we have the some engines are there, query engine, SQL engines. Those will convert your request into the SQL format, so that in the queries select statement or the update statement, whatever you are doing, it will convert it, so that you don't need to worry. Sometimes what happens, the developer will develop the some hundreds of lines of SQL statements manually. So that will take very longer duration. It will go sometimes system down situation also. So in this case, what happens? We can trace it, what's going on with that SQL statement. So what's happening? All the information we can track it here. So we can trace it. We can enable the trace. We can track it here. So this is also rarely we will use this all those things here. Only if any issues comes, we need to check the sessions and the threads and the jobs. As any jobs are in progress in the database level also, for DB internal jobs are there. Those jobs we can find out from here. Those jobs we can find out from the here. The DB internal jobs we can find out from the here. The schema name. So all the information we can track it from here. The DB related jobs here we can find out from here, right? So that is the performance tab here. Okay, performance tab here. The next one is called the volumes tab. Volumes means your file systems, in the file systems. Normally in the database language, we will call it as the volume. But in our language, in our layman language, it's the storage or folders, file systems, or disks. In the Windows level, we will call it as the disks. So those information, what is the total volume size in that data volume, log volume? What is the free? How much free? So all the information, it will write it to the here. All the information it will show the information. Just volume tab, all the information it will show. What is the total volume? So log volume size, all the information it will show the data here. Data volume /na data /na log, right? So here one copy of data it will write into this /na data and this /na log volume here, right? You can see the volume status here, right? So this is about the volumes. Volumes means your file system level, our file system level structure here, our file system level structure it will show here, data log, so trace /na trace, USRSAP, all the information it will show the data here, right? That is the information here, it will write in the information here, okay? So this way we can find out the, so what is the free user space, what is the total space, how much free is there. This way we can find out the information here. So these all are the to monitor the database, to check the if any performance issues here, are there any critical alerts in the database, how the surveys are running. So all the information we can track it as part of the day-to-day monitoring, or as and when any issues comes, we need to monitor all those things here. Okay, so that is the thing here. So the next one, okay, so shall I explain, right? Configuration tab, or will you guys practice all these things? Why? Because it's very important you to practice it. That's why I'm asking each and every tab here. You have to log in. First of all, few members, they have to connect to the HANA Studio. Then you need to go to the overview tab. You need to understand what's there here. Then landscape tab. If any alerts comes, where to check. If any performance issues, what to check. So what are the threads here? What is the sessions here? Suppose sometimes the thread is running from long time. You need to cancel. Just right click and cancel the operation here, so that the session will be cancelled here. So like that we can cancel it here also. Sometimes you see as part of the day-to-day monitoring, the session initiated in the, so some duration is like 3 days, 4 days, 5 days back. Still the user is pulling the data, which means it's not the good sign as a database performance point of view. This is not the good sign. Then immediately we need to go and cancel the, we need to either we can just activate the trace, or we can cancel the request here. We can cancel the request here. We can cancel the operation. Those things we can see it from here. That's the reason we need to check these things. And if someone asked you to check the, can you check the database whether all the processes are running or not? Then go to the landscape and see, yes, all the processes are running. And also the CPU utilization, memory utilization also very normal here. So it's very less. So that is fine, right? So like that we have to inform. Like that we have to inform in the system. This is a refresh button. It will give the live information when you click on the refresh button, right? So this is the one. Volume tab. So you no need to voice level access. Just go to the here df-h. It will give the file system information and everything here. Instead of, if you are in the HANA related file systems, it will show /na data, what is the space free, /na log, USRSAP, all the file systems information. It will show the information from here, right? Those things here we can find out from here, right? That is the file system related. The next one is the configuration tab. Okay, configuration tab here. So configuration tab means, okay, I will skip this one. I will skip this one. I will explain the system information. Why? Because I will explain this on the Monday. Why? Because it's very important. It's very important. That's why I won't explain now. Monday I will explain it. Why? Because you need to practice all those things I will explain. Okay. So system information. System information. It's kind of, so if you want to run the, you want to pull some data from the system. What is the overall workload? What are the transactions? What is the size of the tables? What is the sessions? How many sessions are there? Just execute it. You will get the some data, some report in the here. You can download that report. You can inform to the your manager. You can save as a report in the file. You can inform to the your manager. This is the system, or you can take the screens. It kind of some predefined statements here, size of the table. So those things here we can monitor here. Those things here we can monitor from here. So in the database level, tables are available here. So those tables related information, we can see it in the system information. It kind of to give the some information about the your system. What is the size of the each and every table? All the information it will be displayed here. All the information it will be displayed here. What are the transactions? What is the used memory? So all the information as a one they will create it as a system information. In your system, if you need some report, you need some information, then so just to where can you get it here? Just you no need to go. Just go ahead and right click on the execute. It will show the some connections. So it will give the some open connection. What are the connections are open currently? What are the local connections and remote connections? Saving you all the information. Just you can save it as a one HTML file, or you can save it as the something. Then you can inform to the your manager what are the connections are used here, right? So that is the one, right? So that is the main thing here, right? So please concentrate on the class. Don't concentrate on the charts. Okay. Okay. Let me pause it here. Any questions from anyone here?
Sir, what about system password for HD7?
Are you checking the charts here?
What?
Yes, sir. I sent in charts.
Did you check the chart? Did you check the meeting chart here? We are already informed, right? People
Yeah,
are
yeah, yeah.
already informed.